Hello everyone, today is National Harley Quinn Day 2017 in honor of Harley Quinn's 25th anniversary. However, it did take over National Batman Day today. So today, while being Harley Quinn's 25th anniversary, by being Harley Quinn's Day, it is also in essence Batman's Day. Now, if you want to see my retrospective thoughts on the character of Harley Quinn, feel free to do so on my channel. I also have a link in both the description and the comments, as well as some music tributes. In this video, I'm going to be talking about Batman, a little bit of his history, and the impact the character has had on my life. Well, of course, Batman was created by Bob Kane and Bill Finger, and he was created in the 30s as a response to Superman, but really without the characters like the Shadow or Zorro, we may have never even had Batman in existence, even without Leonardo da Vinci, if you know the backstory. But he was pretty much the exact opposite of Superman. And that's what makes him so relatable, I think, is because he is a human character. He's a human being. He's not a superpowered being. Not even a metahuman as some like to classify now. No, he is a human being with a set of skills. He trained his body, mind, spirit, everything to become the Dark Knight, the Caped Crusader of Gotham. Of course, Robin was introduced, a young sidekick in the 40s, and he was quite a dark hero. He originally used a gun, very much like the pulp comics of the time. 40s got kind of lighter, and then to the 50s was Strange Worlds and Aliens, and then by the 60s it was pure camp, but Adam West and Burt Ward did a great job as Batman and Robin. It was pretty accurate. Even though it was a campy, tongue-in-cheek type of show, it was very faithful to the comics at that point. It was after that campy period that we had Dennis O'Neil, Neil Adams, pretty much have a darker, more grittier Batman. He had the long ears finally with the yellow emblem, most iconic look that would later on be used as a template for the Tim Burton Batmans. And of course, with the 80s, he had Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns and Batman Year One, as well as The Killing Joke by Alan Moore. And then 90s had Nightfall, then with Tim Burton in the movies, really kind of brought a serious version of the comic book film. Superman the movie existed, but you really didn't have the modern blockbuster superhero film until Batman 1989. We all know how that turned out with Joel Schumacher taking the reins, Warner Brothers having a more toy etiquette film, and then eventually with Christopher Nolan bringing it all back with the Dark Knight trilogy, starting with Batman Begins in 2005. And to our modern day now. And it's funny because the movies took the same turn the comics took, as far as starting out dark, then getting progressively lighter to the point of camp, and then getting back to being dark and gritty again. And to start off, I was a Batman fan ever since I was little. I was actually watching Disney movies and Barney, and I have to thank my older brother, Rudy. He got tired of me watching Barney, so he put on the VHS tape of Batman 1989. So the 1989 Batman was the first thing ever Batman that I saw. I was immediately hooked, and I'm obsessed with Batman ever since. I was a fan of Batman the Animated Series growing up. I remember seeing Batman Forever in theaters, as well as Batman and Robin. I saw 89 and Returns on VHS. So I was born in 91, so I caught Returns when it was on HBO. We recorded it, I watched it on VHS, and then I was around when Batman Forever came out. I remember seeing that around Father's Day of 95, and then it came out on Halloween of 95. I dressed up as Batman. I dressed up as Batman multiple times. And of course, I have a huge collection, whether it be toys from the different eras, posters, graphic novels, comics, movies, shows, etc., etc. I love Batman. Batman is life to me. I first fell in love with that Michael Keaton Batman. I just love Michael Keaton, Tim Burton Batman. That is just iconic. Every time I hear the Danny Elfman theme, I immediately think Batman, the way that I hear John Williams' Superman score and think of Superman. But that is such a great film. And later on, I learned that it wasn't exactly like the comics. And then I became to appreciate the comics much more once I started reading them. I love Paul Dini and Bruce Timm's incarnation of the animated series. It's probably like the best version I've ever seen. Closest to that would be the Rocksteady Games of the Arkham Asylum series. I love those video game series. Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill are Batman and the Joker. And Val Kilmer is a bit underrated, I feel. And then, of course, you have Batman and Robin. I'm not going to really mention that very much, but for 8 long years, Batman was pretty much dead. And I have a Batman and Robin retrospective in which I talk about that, but I love it when Christopher Nolan brought it because Christopher Nolan was more grounded. And people say it's not like the comics, but to me it was like the comics and they grounded it. But what made Christopher Nolan's series so iconic was the fact that it grounded the series and really showed you that you can make a serious comic book film. I'm not talking about serious like in dark and gritty. I'm talking about taking the material serious enough to elevate it. It wasn't a comic book film. To call it a comic book film would be an insult. No, it was a great film, period. And now we're in this, and I figured after Dark Knight Rises, we really wouldn't see that many great Batman films, but I do like Ben Affleck's portrayal. I do like Zack Snyder what he did with Batman Superman. You kind of have more of that Frank Miller Batman in there, and a middle-aged Batman, which we haven't seen yet. I just wish he'd go back to his yellow emblem and long ears, but I just love the character so much. So on this Batman day, I mean, I have so many favorite moments. I just love it where it's just like, I made you, you made me first. And then Michael Keaton started that thing where the guy's like, what are you? And he's just like, I'm Batman. I love that. And then, of course, Christian Bale's just like, what the hell are you? And she's like, I'm Batman. I just love that. I'm Batman. And then, of course, Kevin Conroy, where he's just like, I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman. And then you have Batman Beyond and Justice League. Just so many different incarnations. And besides being relatable, what makes a character so long and withstanding is the fact that he is so versatile. Meaning, Batman can work in almost every single demographic. Superman and some of the other heroes are kind of more difficult. But Batman, he can be campy, he can be child-friendly, he can be adult, he can be for teens. He can be for any age. No matter what age you are, there is something Batman-oriented that you can catch. So as a kid, you can watch the animated series. You can even appreciate that as an adult. Emmy Award-winning series. And you can watch the Adam West Show. And then as a teenager, you can maybe watch some of the Schumacher ones and Tim Burton. And then an adult, you have like the graphic novels. And you have some of the other films. And then, of course, there's all this fan film out there for Batman. Batman's such a beloved character. And it's great that he's lasted so many years, like over 70 years. It's unreal. And now he's about to be in Justice League. I still can't believe that a Justice League, I don't know about anybody else, but a Justice League film's going to be in our lifetime. I never thought that would happen, at least not until I was like 50 years old. But I just love his origin. I love Batman Year One. I love Superman, Batman, Public Enemies. I think some of my favorite stories would be Under the Red Hood, Batman Year One. And underrated, it's not considered the best, but I love Kevin Smith's Batman Cacophony and the Widening Gyre. It's about to get a conclusion in 2018. I cannot wait for that. Love that Dark Knight Returns. Batman, Bruce Wayne, Murderer, and Fugitive is a pretty cool arc. There's just so much, man. Dark Knight, Paul Dini's true story of getting mugged. That was a deep story and how he used Batman. And again, that story feels very relevant. Batman means something different to each and every one of us out there. Whether you're male, female, adult, or child, it means something to you, the character of Batman, if you're a fan. And to me, it represents a type of person you could be. You wouldn't want your parents shot. You wouldn't want to be dark, brooding. You wouldn't want a lonely life. But there's something about rising to adversity, basically using your circumstances to make yourself a better man, that is appealing for Batman. I don't know how to explain it. To me, that's what's appealing about the character. No matter how much is against him, no matter how bad things get, he never gives up as a character. And I just love that. I just hope we see more of his scientist detective skill sides, because we really haven't seen that yet. But the character is always progressing. That's a great thing. Again, all these different people, Paul Dini, Bruce Timm, Bob Kane, Bill Finger, Frank Miller, Scott Snyder. You have different people, Jeff Johns, different custodians that oversee the character. Everybody can bring a different interpretation. That's what makes comics great, and I think movies should eventually adopt later, is that you can always have different incarnations that expand, elevate, and really show you a different perspective of the character that you never saw before. The character is always changing, yet remaining true to its fundamentals. And that's what makes comics great, and as well as the character of Batman. I think that's why it's lasted so long. Besides going through different genres, the fact that it can be so withstandable to different perspectives, different visions of what the character needs to be. It's almost like the Dark Knight of like, it may not be the hero you deserve, but it's the one you need. I just love that. Speaking of Dark Knight, that's a wonderful ending. That, 1989, and Mask of the Phantasm are my favorite endings. But yeah, Mask of the Phantasm is another underrated origin story for Batman. Love Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger. Want to know how I got my scars? Just so many great actors who have portrayed Batman and the villains. Batman, again, has the best rogues galleries of any superhero. Like, really, like, every villain is just so fucking awesome. I just love it. I love the Batman mythos. I love all his sidekicks, Dick Grayson, Nightwing. You even have Jason Todd. He's a little punk, but he becomes cool when he becomes the Red Hood. You have Ra's al Ghul, or Ra's al Ghul, Scarecrow, Catwoman, Selena Kyle. You have all his love interests. You have Alfred there, his Secret Service medic past. Just so great. Thomas Martha Wayne. And I know that they have different incarnations in how they died, but I love the original origin where it's just some random mugger and he basically confronts the mugger. It's such a great story. Whole time when Darkseid killed him and you thought he was dead and he got transported to another time. The whole Damian Wayne story was really, really well done. But yeah, Batman is just awesome. And I even love his explanation for the yellow shield about it being a stronger part of armor. I wish they would add that in a movie. But yeah, I love Batman. I could talk about Batman all day, but I just want to keep this video short and bring up some of my favorite moments. And those are some of my favorite moments, some of my favorite incarnations of Batman. Batman Forever is just like the best and was not a beeper, Miss Meridian. I love that. And I even love other parts like in a video game like Arkham City where Ra's al Ghul's like in Wonder Tower and he's just like, join me, we'll destroy Gotham. And then Batman's just like, you become the very thing you sought to destroy, Ra's, and I'm gonna stop you. I just love that moment. Hugo Strange is a great villain. Now, Gotham is almost an Elseworld story, but I haven't finished that. That's just so... I don't know how any self-respecting Batman fan can watch that show, but that's just me. Not to knock anybody, but everybody has their favorite versions of Batman. Mine's probably between Michael Keaton's and Christian Bale's. As far as live action, if we go like all incarnations, of course it's the comics, but I'd have to say the animated series and the video games with Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, that's like the gold standard for everything. That's what I want live action movies to aspire to. But again, you're open to different interpretations of the character. I just wish I would have a Halloween suit that's cheap that I can wear like an adult suit, so who knows. Maybe I can cosplay or custom make mine, but I love it. And then Christian Bale, of course. Where's the trigger? Where is it? And then it's just like, Martha! No. But, yeah, I just wanted to bring my favorite incarnations of Batman and just briefly talk about it. Again, on this National Harley Quinn Day, National Batman Day, feel free in the comments to let me know your thoughts on each character. And what do you love most about Batman and Harley Quinn and just overall the mythos of Batman? Let me know in the comments below. And feel free to catch my Harley Quinn retrospective. I have it in the link below, as well as my music tributes. And stay tuned for September 25th. I'm going to have a special video about the history of comic books and showcasing my comic book collection so far for National Comic Book Day. Until then, you can be a hero like Batman, a symbol to aspire to. As a man or a woman, you're flesh and blood. You can be ignored, you can be destroyed, but as a symbol, you can be incorruptible. You can be everlasting. A silent guardian, a watchful protector, the Dark Knight. So for all your Dark Knights out there, men and women, have a great day, and let me know in the comments below what do you love most about Batman and Harley Quinn. Okay, if you like this video, click the like button and subscribe for more videos. Till next time.